Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and with this video, I'll be discussing my thoughts on episode 4 of the anime series Sora, Yori, Tooi Basho, or A Place Further Than the Universe. And this was a laugh riot, this episode. I was laughing my ever-loving ass off. And I think in the episode that sees the debut of the character Miyake, I had said something like she had quickly become my favorite character in the lot of them. But in fact, I think my favorite character is the one that started this all off, Mari. She is fun-loving, boisterous. She's also conniving and sneaky. And when she gets caught in this episode, it is a laugh riot. I was showing it to my sister afterward, and she was laughing her ass off too. The whole point of she and Shirase, they got to take time off, request time off from school, so they can start their training a couple days here, but then in December is where it's really going to be the meat and potatoes of their expedition, and they're going to need the time off to go to Antarctica and everything like that. But for the purposes of training and having that time off, Mari, we find, has sort of forged the school documents. She filled it out, she stamped it and everything. And so she can't really, own up to actually having the documents when asked in school about it. And this follows on with the funniest damn scene in this show thus far. She and her sister are watching the mother, at the oven, at the stove, chopping up a carrot or whatever it is for stew. And they're both debating, well, she seems normal. Is everything okay? She didn't slam the refrigerator door. It must be, there's nothing on her mind, nothing scary. And so all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the mother's attentions never turn away from the stove, what she's doing on the stove. She just blatantly blurts out, "Mari, could you come into the kitchen, please, and take the basket of bath salts I just bought to the bathroom, if you would, please?" And she's like, "Yeah, sure, Mom," after, jamming her head into her sister's jaw because they're, just watching her sneakily from around the corner. She slowly, methodically goes up to the table, and the first package, they do, this scream because there's a penguin and there's Antarctica and all this kind of stuff. She starts to have this internal debate where she's freaking out. Does she know? Doesn't she? Maybe she does. Maybe she doesn't. Maybe if I come clean now, all this stuff. And the mother interrupts her. "Oh, Mari, is something wrong? Is there something on your mind? Antarctica, perhaps?" She found out from one of the neighbors who knew all about it, and here's the documentation. Mari is trying to present it to her mother right then and there, but it's already been filled and stamped and all that stuff. And so, she's like, "Well, who filled this out?" And you see Mari's hand going up slowly. I was dying. And then all of a sudden, the next shot, they're in the living room or whatever, and she comes darting out of the kitchen, running to the front door. And there's the father coming home, and I just love the little back and forth, the way they edit this scene. He's exhausted, but he's happy. "Oh, I'm home." And then he sees the mother. The mother's got that giant spoon or whatever, the scoop, and she's slapping it on her hand. The look on her face says it all. And the father just passively, without a word, backs back out nonchalantly, pulls the door shut. And then as you hear havoc ensuing, the mother gets a Joker grin, and you hear havoc ensuing indoors, and the father's cowering. "I'm sorry, my beloved daughter." I was dying. My sister was dying when I showed it to her. That was effing funny. And Mari, right then and there, she's my favorite character. From what we see of her in the OP, from everything we've seen of her from episode 1 on, I think she is my favorite character. And I just love the friendship and support between she and Shirase, most especially. All four of the girls, Miyake, Yuzuki, Shirase, and Mari, they're all going to be going on this quest, and they all kind of have to work together. They have to, cooperate with each other, be friendly with each other, understand each other, and all that kind of stuff. And I'm glad that is growing and developing. But I really something was off with Shirase in this episode. When they begin their training in the episode, the second half of the episode, where they go out to the mountains, they plant flags, learn to use the compass, constructing a trail that they can backtrack and everything so they don't get lost. They're introduced to their pseudo-mission captain. Torogin is her name. And this is one of the women who was on the mission with Shirase's mother when she was lost. So the dramatic meat and potatoes of this show continues, where it very much plays back heavily on Shirase's mother, the loss of her mother 3 years ago. And here was a woman who was there on that very mission. And so I'm sure there are a lot of minced words and questions and curiosities and blame, maybe even on Shirase's part, toward this Torogen woman. But also it's a vice versa thing. Like she doesn't want to be around Shirase because it reminds her of Shirase's mother. And maybe her own guilt, her own fault in not being able to find her mother and everything like that. And I find that all highly, highly compelling. But I love that, Mari, for her part, she picks up on it, that something is off-putting with Shirase. She's not as, attuned to learning all of this stuff. She's kind of quiet. She's sort of keeping to herself. And finally, once they're done with the, posting of the flags and using the compass and all this kind of stuff, when they're supposed to be going to sleep, Mari does broach the question, do you know this woman? And she says, yeah, she admits to it and kind of surprises everybody. But I like that they're still very much able to rebound from that. They're still having fun. I mean, Mari, she's sort of the fun-loving. She wants to have fun. She wants to tell spooky stories when they all got to sleep. And I thought that was going to be Miyake when she first debuted. I thought that was her character role, to be sort of the fun, boisterous, not taking things too seriously kind of character. But in this episode, she's actually taking things much more seriously alongside Yuzuki than Mari is. Mari wants to have fun with it all, and I love that. I love that, she's not being irresponsible, but she wants to have fun. She wants to exploit as much fun as they can possibly achieve out of all of this. And you have, they all break out laughing when Yuzuki says something like, I forget how, she misuses the word shut. I forget the exact phraseology there. For all intents and purposes, she's asking Mari to shut up so they can sleep. And she says it the wrong way, or she says it in a weird way. So you have Miyake starting to laugh. Mari starts to laugh. They start making fun of it and everything like that. So it is fun. It is fun-loving and everything like that. But I really like the sort of solemn moment that follows as well after they have slept for a while. And Mari wakes up and, it's so cold, it's foggy and everything like that. And she goes out of the tent to see this Toto woman standing on this hilltop, the top of this precipice, where I guess she's kind of there to see, dawn, to see the sun coming up. And Mari is able to experience that in that moment, and she kind of lays it down, like this woman's really wondering, what is it with you girls that want to come on this? I mean, the one girl has to come. But what about you other girls? She already knows what's up with Shirase, but like Miyake, Mari, what's up with you? Why do you want to go on this trip, this quest? And Mari outlines, it was, at first it was just something, the spontaneity of it, of just picking up and leaving and going somewhere. Not living a typical everyday, go to school, go to college, get a job, have a family, just typical, the way we're told we need to live our lives. This is something, it's kind of spur of the moment. It takes some skill. It takes some training. It's going to be a broad and fun adventure. And when she saw the importance that, Shirase felt about it, when she saw the capabilities of these other characters, the way they feel about it, the way they, the reasons they have as to why, it's a true sense of accomplishment that she wants to provide herself. And it's going to be amongst comrades, nearest and dearest. They're all going to forge these great bonds because they're all going on the journey together, as impromptu as it is. It's all a brand new, bold adventure for all of them. And I love that. I love the sentimentality of that. I love the logistics of that they actually are training. And when they put it into practice, they're all holding their own for the most part. I mean, I know the terrain and the weather's going to be completely, wholly different when they get to Antarctica. But they are in the mountains. They are in the cold weather. They are having to bundle up. They are having to, sleep in a tent overnight and everything, camp out. And they are having to plot and configure and maneuver and create a trail to follow and all these things. And so they're coming to understand the importance of that stuff. And none of them, they sort of comically, oh, do we have to do all this? But at the same time, they are all owning up to it and doing it. They're going through the motions of what is necessitated to make this trip possible. And so as I said at the end of the last episode, I am thoroughly on board for this journey. I'm excited by it. I love the fun-loving atmosphere. I love the characters. I love how hilarious it is. But I love that there is this unflinching, sort of underwritten aspect of drama. Calling back on Shirase's mother And the overhanging question, you know, for me still remains, in 3 years' time, could her mother have found a way to survive in Antarctica by herself? Could she have survived? Did she die? You know, is it somewhat of a lost cause for her to go seeking her mother? And if so, will she find something to fill that void, something to answer to that aspect of her life that you know, she's missing? Whatever it is she's missing that so drastically, daringly wants, you know, has her wanting to go on this expedition. I really hope she finds it. I think she has, in a manner of speaking, already found it with Mari and with Miyake and with Yuzuki and everything like that. So this was a hell of an enjoyable episode all over again. And I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below what you thought of episode 4 of Sora, Yori, Tooi Basho, or A Place Further Than the Universe, if you've seen it as well. And, of course, anything goes in the comments below. Our POVs can certainly disagree, love it or hate it. If you didn't happen to find this episode as enjoyable or as laugh-out-loud funny, or you're not feeling the vibe of the characters for whatever reason, let me know that in the comments below as well. And so yeah, bring on the next one. Otherwise, it'll be pretty much it for me on this. Hope this video finds you well, and I'll catch you all later. Peace.